So yeah, I'm on a day hike to the peak, meaning I've left Pueblo Viejo, main town here in Providencia, on foot after sweet breakfast there this morning, and I'm walking all the way to the highest point of the island, meaning the peak, the tallest mountain there is on this beautiful gem in the Caribe, Providence Island. So it's a bit of a sweat so far because obviously I've left way too late. It was already 9:30 a.m. when I set off from the town, and I've been basking in the sun whenever I didn't find any shade, but you know, we're coping. It's a little sauna day, it's a little spa day for me in a sense, sweating and getting rid of all those beer and wine calories acquired over the, you know, the sultry days on Sophisticated Lady. And I love hiking, I love sports, I love the outdoors so much. So to me, this was a must. Definitely want to reach the peak of the peak. Yay, so I've now reached what I believe is the last section of the trail. I'm close to the peak, which I suppose is right that one. Yeah, so the top is very near. I get a glimpse of lower peaks. You see the two antennas down there and the ocean right behind. So I do see the ocean again. This last section of the path is actually quite smooth and easy. The previous one and majority of it was quite rocky. Not always super steep, but often pretty steep. But all in all, very, very nice, very feasible, highly recommended, and very informative. I really liked all the various signs along the way. Stopped by to read most of them. They focus on plants, they focus on animals, and yeah, all the local species and how they're being affected by overexploitation, by unsustainable practices. So, you know, I'm really grateful to the people of Providencia for putting together such a well-marked trail, because I had no uncertainties which path to follow at any given time, and for making it also so educational and so fascinating. You know, it doesn't happen every day. I go on plenty of hikes, and that's definitely not the case in the West, you know, in Europe where I come from, for instance. So the weather has been on my side, meaning I started off this morning from town under the blistering heat. You know, it was so hot, and I was afraid I would find that type of killer sun all along the way, but it wasn't the case. There was an overcast, so I've been lucky. And as much as I was walking under the shade here in the forest, you know, I would have been often exposed to the sunlight. And in this heat, I'm telling you, this may not be such a crazy long hike, but I've been sweating nevertheless. So hadn't it been for those clouds, I think that I would have needed many more stops, water stops, you know, and a lot more rest, because it does get very hot over here. They may call it dry forest, tropical dry forest. Doesn't feel very dry to me. It's actually quite lush. Look at this, it's beautiful.
So with weather finally decided, we're going to be leaving on Saturday. That gives us 4 or 5 days to pick up some boat projects. So we got back to our jib today. So you remember we had that furling line fouled as we arrived here in Providence. So we were looking at that today, and something was missing because the basket was spinning. And we realized that the whole furling drum was elevated above the deck. It had actually let go. If you guys remember, a couple of years ago, we had this brand new furling system installed back in Grenada. And yeah, it's a brand new furling drum they put on, beautiful job, everything done. But when we overloaded it and twisted the furling line on it, it forced the fittings that lock the drum to the forestay through the custom brackets that were made. It forced them out, whether they bent or broke, snapped, don't know, they're completely gone. So we effectively have no foresail right now. Just figured out here that these brackets are no longer attached, so the whole drum is just floating there. And it was actually way up here. And if you remember the shot of the sail that I had as we were sailing, you remember it had a little bit of wrinkles in the luff, and I was wondering about that, thinking how did we lose tension on the halyard, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together that we had actually snapped these fittings. So right now we've got a bit of a dilemma because there's no place where we're gonna find profurl fittings out here in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. So this presents a problem. We need to find something, and it's got to be something that actually fills these holes perfectly, because this hole with that on the outside is what holds against all the halyard tension of the sail. And there's a gap in here, so it has to be an actual perfect circle fitting. So we're just trying to think what might actually be able to use, because it's not going to be able to do a bolt. It's the hole, there's a hole on each side, but the forestay's in the middle, so we can't just put in a great big bolt or anything through there because there's a forestay. We'll be interfering with that. What do you think? Can you find something?
Got 2 pieces.
So what do you got? Piece of tubing.
I
Think it's the same size?
Yeah.
Let's go have a look.
Put a piece on each side.
So let's see. It does look very close, doesn't it? Too big?
Don't know yet. I think we can force it in.
Whoa, went through easy on that one. Shit, it looked almost perfect. How does it fit in the C420 in the hub? Let's see.
Doesn't really fit there.
So it might need to be shaved or something. Or worst case, we may have to grind that piece out a bit, otherwise we've got no sail. It's aluminum.
No, this is not aluminum.
No, the drum is aluminum. So we have to decide. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be able to thin this out too much. You make the walls thin.
Or we can use wood for the meantime. We got a piece of wood.
So either that or a piece of hardwood doweling. Hammer it in there. So we're close. This is just a piece of the 1-inch railing, like the bowsprit here. And this is a spare piece from when we had all the railings done at the back push pit there in Grenada also. So interesting. It's almost exactly the right size. It fits through one of them. But it seems like something like this might be our temporary solution. So either a piece of the railing, or we might have to try and find a piece of 1-inch hardwood doweling. Some type of hardwood that won't compress, and cut it into small pieces, file it down until it goes in, and just hammer it into place and lock it in somehow. Well, that's our option, so I guess we just keep working on it from here. Tiki perch?
I think it will fit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hard enough wood though, is
Yeah,
it?
it will fit. I don't know. I think it's hard. It's like boom.
Yeah, it might compress, but it's on the right idea, I think. There was a carpenter shop, remember?
Yeah.
He'll probably have a
but
piece
we
of
can go to
hardwood
the hardware
doweling.
store, see if we can come up with
Something like that, but in metal.
Yeah. Aluminum.
Yeah.
I don't know if you hear me because it's quite windy up here. Wow, what a sweaty adventure this has been. Actually, it's been pretty okay, honestly, because yes, it was hot, but I had lots of shade, both because of the clouds that gathered in the skies this morning, thankfully, thank you sky, and because of the beautiful woods I've been walking through. There you go. Wow, I reached the top of the peak. Well, I don't know if it's that one or this one up here. It's two peaks. Not entirely certain that is the highest. This is the highest. But either way, I'm gonna get there too. The view is just breathtaking. You see all of the island from here. Granted, Providencia is not that big, but I'm just so glad, happy, you know, to have made it here. It is a great way to take in landscape you find in this part of the Caribbean. Wow, there are clouds just passing through there between those peaks. I don't know if you can see them. And the wind just picked up. Yeah, the clouds are quite low. You can see the reef there surrounding the island, and those incredibly beautiful waters. Yes, just surrounded by gorgeous natural landscape in mountains and sea together. Those two landscapes combined are clearly my favorite. When you have both, you hit the jackpot. At least that's how I feel. I love it. Okay, time for the rest. Water, some oranges, and that'll be it.
Okay, we're good. Just put some duct tape. Put an OK stamp on it. It's in place.
So not an exact ideal solution, but it might get us sailing again. Because yeah, right now we are several hundred miles from anywhere we're going to get any kind of parts. So that should get us back to the mainland anyway. And maybe Roatan or Belize will be able to get some pieces. But yeah, I think if we put in a good enough piece of hardwood like that, this might just do the trick. Find out the exact size. Trusty caliper.
$23, maybe 24 and a half.
That's exactly 1 inch.
Yeah. No,
That's why the stainless rail tubing is so close.
no, it's not 1 inch. 1 inch should be. 1 inch is here. A little bit less than 1 inch.
Yeah. Like 15/16 or something. Or 24 mil, whichever's closer. But if it's wood, at least we can file it down a little bit, sand it just to take a little bit of thickness off it until it's tight and then hammer it in.
Can't tell if there's anything
so
in it or not.
This is the video.
So
There goes all our audio.
we have new chain today that we need to cut and weld.
There's the chain plates when they were making them there. The old ones didn't work, so they're making new ones.
We're looking for the fastener.
Okay. So up. Like with new.
Yes.
The fun part is over.
Yeah,
So this coming over here.
Okay, so here's the assembly.
So you won't get out.
So there's the piece. I wonder what that is.
That's the truth, because
If it is just plastic or aluminum.
this way or only way up cannot get out. The arrow is facing down. Like this.
Comes out. There's the pieces we're missing right there. New furling. Coming up. Afternoon.
Arrow is facing down. Like this.
Comes out. So what's it got? It looked like it had a ring for circlips or something on the inside of it to prevent it from ever coming out also. But they're not on it. See that?
It's plastic.
So there's our problem. The fittings that were put in obviously didn't handle the load, and they just got either broken, snapped out, fell out. We don't know what happened, but these fittings are gone, and that's why we're unlocked now. So we are going to have to try and replace that either with stainless steel or wood. That's all we got available here, so we got to make do with what we got and make it work. Next
Right.
option.
That's right. These two.
Just see if they fit, and if they do, then we'll raise it up and lower it back down. How is it?
Perfect fit, but it has to be longer. Okay, there we go.
So a long socket,
That's the solution. Deep socket.
deep socket. Okay.
Better than factory, man.
And yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to put duct tape or something around the outside of them to keep them in place.
Maybe a big hose clamp and Gorilla tape it.
Just use one that looks like it. Shit, that one looks like it should work. Too big?
Actually, it does.
That's right.
Yeah, 24. 18. Oh, it's 18. Yeah.
You never know when you're gonna get lucky. We got just the right tool right there.
Yeah. Okay.
We found the deep socket fits in perfectly. When I said 15/16 one time, I was thinking, well, shit, that almost sounds like a socket size, so. Oh, I hate it when that happens. So yeah, it looks like our problem solved. So we'll get the 2 deep sockets in, then we just got to secure them from falling out somehow. So I guess that's just going to be duct tape and wire ties.
Sticky agrees.
Yeah. Oh well. It may be messy, but it'll get the job done and it'll get us back sailing. So that's all that counts right now.
Yep.
Not pretty, but incredibly functional. That will do the trick. You can't pull those sockets out now, right?
No.
They're solid. Good. We're in business.
Almost.
Furling line, yeah. What you trying to do?
The line was wrong. Pull the line out. Sail was coming out.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the other way, right?
Yeah, it's because we wrapped it backwards to get it out of the way.
You put some tension there.